So, Google is phasing out third-party cookies. I'm sure this is not news for you. They've been talking about it since 2020, but now it's happening. The moment when Chrome will block third-party cookies by default is really around the corner. When is it happening? How can you be ready? These are some of the things that we want to cover in this video. At the beginning of 2024, Google will start blocking third-party cookies on Chrome for 1% of their users. They will ramp that up to 100% by the end of Q3. So in September 2024, we will de facto live in a cookieless era. Already today, 25% of the internet traffic goes through browsers that block cookies by default. So maybe don't wait until Google does that as well before taking some actions. And on top of that, we know that banner acceptance rates are somewhere between 30 and 50%. So even browsers that do support third-party cookies may result in heavy data losses already today. Regarding Google's timeline, there are a few things that we think marketers can do today to be ready to thrive in a cookieless world. The number one is to review how you currently collect first-party data. First-party data will be obviously way more important in the future, as it will be one of the main ways to collect insights on your audience, on users' journey on your website or web apps, and ultimately they will be one of the main factors around which you can shape your marketing and sales activities. The second thing to do is to evaluate cookieless tracking solutions. Now this we cover more in details in a separate video, but span from attribution software to digital analytics software and anything in between. But there are tools like Matomo, Phantom, Simple Analytics, and many others that provide a valuable alternative to Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics without relying on third-party cookies. So you may want to look into which of the solutions might work best for your industry or use case or business needs, and start trialing some of those solutions. Number three, if you're choosing to stick with Google Analytics, make sure your GA4 is set up with server-side tracking. In server-side tracking, data isn't stored at browser level, at the user endpoint, but it's stored at server level. Therefore, not relying on cookies that are stored on the user's browsers. Number four, review which other software solutions you're using today that rely on third-party cookies. We often talk about digital analytics, but there's a lot more, whether it's about retargeting, audience segmentation, maybe simple on-site banners, pop-up tools that you might be using. There is a lot of stuff that might rely on third-party cookies, and you may want to review today how you can find alternatives to those tools, how those vendors are getting ready for a cookieless era, and generally be ready for when the time comes so that there are no surprises. And the fifth way you can start to get ready today is how to segment your audience. As you will not be able to rely on third-party cookies, you can look into different ways how you can segment your audience and effectively targeting it. It's hard to generalize, but for example, for B2B SaaS, there are a lot of solutions that might help with that without relying on cookies, whether they would show you account level data, so which organizations are visiting your website, or relying on other signals. Those are all things to consider and start planning for. I hope you find this piece of content useful. We're releasing this kind of content all the time. We're working with you to demystify the cookieless era that is upon us, and hope to see you all in our next video.